ATL, Atlanta, GA, Bad Blood. Haven't seen or really heard this pay-per-view in about 20 years now, so we decided to bring Bad Blood back to the table, and I gotta say, this was a very big show. So this isn't one of these like throwaway pay-per-views, but then again, it can't be a throwaway when we haven't used it in 20 years, so Bad Blood has got to be as important as possible, but yes, ATL, let's get into it right now. First, let my co-host introduce himself for today for this review.
Oh yes. ATL. This is straight face 40. Man, I was kind of glad when I heard the announcement when it came back, and it was a good pay per view.
Yes, it was. I enjoyed it. I did have an earlier start time, by the way, too, at about what was that? But had an earlier start time at about 5 o'clock, I believe, today. I guess over here in Chicago time. So the show started a little bit earlier. I don't know, maybe because that's how much time they had in the building. I don't mind early start time sometime, but I get for the international shows why they start like in the middle of the afternoon. But like for the main shows, 6 to 7 o'clock is still good in my opinion. But I guess they just decided to go with, an earlier 5 o'clock start time today. But yes, getting into this show though, a lot of big stuff happening tonight. I think it was kind of funny at the beginning that they had Cody and Metro Boomin. If you on Metro don't trust you, I'm gonna shoot you. Show up to the building, that same car they've been sitting out there for the past 3 months staking out the building. So I thought it was kind of funny. It's like, all right, y'all gonna put back on the same clothes y'all was sitting like 3 months ago.
You're right. Like y'all was actually sitting out there. Cody, we seeing you all through the time. What you do? Go back to Atlanta and go chill with him afterward?
Yeah, and Metro has put out what 2, 3 albums with Future at this point.
Right,
So
right. So right. So what y'all do? Just go back to the same car? Like, all right, yeah, I'm done with work.
yeah, we don't. Yeah. Like, come on, man. We've already heard we don't trust you, and we still don't trust you. So we know you guys been doing other stuff, but I just kind of thought it was funny they pulled up into the same car to the building they've been sitting out there since July. So yeah, they arrived there in in the same car. So that was kind of funny. But right off the bat, we kick off this show. Now, we did kick it off with Bianca, Jade, and I guess Naomi was now added to host the show because I thought it was just Bianca and Jade at first. But I don't know. When it comes to these hosting shows for like whoever it may be, whether it be Bianca, Jade, Miz, or Cena, it's kind of whatever. It's like, okay, they on the show in some type of fashion. So yeah, and I think they just added Naomi at the last minute just because. So they were just there, just done. You'll see them throughout the night, but they were just kind of there to announce the first match, which was Hell in a Cell. But the match that I thought was going to be the main event actually kicked off the show. Hell in a Cell match. Obviously, especially it's fitting to happen at Bad Blood when they said what the first one happened with Undertaker and Shawn Michaels and Kane making his debut. But yes, CM Punk, Drew McIntyre, like I said, getting right into the big stuff right now. So let's get right into it. I got to say, this was a brutal Hell in a Cell match. I think this is one of the best Hell in a Cell match I've seen in a good number of years now. I enjoyed a lot of stuff throughout this, even the small things too. You gotta look for it in this match also, because right off the back, both these guys just start going in at each other, just brawling out there, and they're throwing each other into the cage. Even what Drew getting, I know he got a toolbox, so he pulled a table out first, and then he had a toolbox in. One thing you could say about the table is now you expect somebody to go through a table all the time, right? But they were using the table as a weapon, as where the legs were broken. Punk was throwing Drew on the back of it, which kind of scratched his leg up, not his leg, but his back up a little because they broke off the legs, and even CM Punk tried to choke him with it. So they didn't just use the table as putting somebody through it. They used the table as an actual weapon, from the environment of it. So I think that was pretty smart right there. But yeah, and I'm trying to name everything I saw with a lot, like I said, with weapons involved. Because what I know, he went back to the outside of the ring. Drew ended up hitting a Claymore kick on him. Then I know his head was kind of scratched, kind of going to the cage. But McIntyre had Punk bleeding after he threw him into the side of the cage. Then McIntyre's just, stomping on him, then taking him out, throw him into the ring steps, and even just saying, like, I'm going to end your career and your wife is going to leave you. Which, also they put out another table then after that. So there was one set to the side. We'll get back in that in a second. But, McIntyre's just still beating the hell out of Punk and even stepping on the left bicep where Punk had been injured for several months. One thing to point out here, too, if we want to talk about Easter eggs, Punk coming out and all, not Punk, but Drew coming out in all black and even had like a wristband or like an armband on him, like saying this is going to be Punk's funeral and whatnot. That's why he decided to wear all black for this match. But like I said, the crowd was into it, chanting, "This is awesome." McIntyre tried to go back at Punk, who's on the outside of the ring. Punk used the toolbox, hit McIntyre on the head, which he bled heavily. And this was a great blade job because he had a lot of juice coming from his head. Like Drew just had the whole crimson mask on. He was just bleeding out there, like heavily bleeding out there. Like there was just blood everywhere. He was going to go for the GTS, but it didn't happen after that. Drew still trying to recover. He got a Claymore kick, still went for a near fall. He got a wrench after that, but Punk got out the way. He put him into a sharpshooter. With Drew bleeding that heavily, it's a little bit reminiscent of, Bret Hart and Stone Cold back at WrestleMania 13, especially with Punk with the, not Punk, but, Drew with the crimson mask and whatnot. So he's just bleeding heavily after that, but he ended up taking like, what was like a wrench to hit Punk from the side so he could like so you really saw the wrench throughout this match a lot. But even taking down Punk with the wrench so he can get out of the whole sharpshooter thing. Then you got the yay boo punches then after that. And one thing I could say throughout the night that the announcers brought up was a lot of classic matches that happened in Atlanta and the Omni. I know they brought up Tommy Rich versus Buzz Sawyer in Atlanta. So they would bring out a lot of like WCW, NWA, probably Mid-South type of matches. So you're going to hear a lot of history about that throughout the entire night. But, McIntyre, he ended up getting like the ring steps in, putting him in the ring. And like I said, this was real brutal then. I know that because they kind of set up the steps right there. And I think Punk, he ended up getting back up, but Drew hit like a white noise on him on the steel steps, which Punk still was able to kick out. He looked like he was going for something. I don't know if it was like a black hole slam or something he was going for, but Punk hit the Anaconda Vice then, tried to get him to tap out. Drew got the wrench, but Punk ended up taking the wrench from him, beat Drew over the edge several times then, and he told McIntyre to beg. I want you to beg. And you kind of knew it was going to be a nut shot right here because when Punk, like, he was going to strike him with the wrench there, Drew hit him with a low blow after that. And, he's just still bleeding, trying. And even, like, when the referee tried to bring a towel to Drew, Drew's like, get that out of my face. Like, he just kept the blood going. And then he, like, brought a bag in the ring. And at first, I'll be honest, I rolled my eyes when I saw the black bag. Because every time I see when somebody pulls out a black bag, it's going to be, like, thumbtacks or probably glass, and that gets so tiring. But given the story of this entire feud, Drew just poured out like all the beads, like the bracelet beads from the whole friendship bracelet with Punk's wife and dog with the name of it, and just poured it all over his face then. And he says like, I'm gonna take you out, and then he hit like the Claymore clip with the Claymore kick, which he landed on the steps. And notice how his back landed, like he landed on the edge of the steps. That was brutal. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of winced at that for a second. But Punk got back up. He put a chain around his like his leg then, and then he took the beads, put it in Drew McIntyre's mouth, and he says, I'm gonna make you beg. And then Punk hit him with a GTS to the chain and won the match from there. And Punk stood tall and celebrated. He walked out and slammed the door and still, selling the effects of the match. He ended up collapsing in that they had to bring out EMTs and, producers Adam Pearce out there. Drew was still able to get up, just in a lot of pain, but just selling the disappointment that he didn't win. And Punk, the EMTs, like put an EKG on him and like an oxygen tank, but he ended up just getting up and he says, where's my wife then? And he was still able to walk out on his own and, celebrate at the top of the stage. This was one hell of a match. This was obviously the best match of the night. This was probably one of the hardest things to follow. This was a brawl. It lived up to the name. Given that we've seen this feud for what, since damn near January at this point. This is a great way of ending this blood feud off. Like, we have just seen the match from SummerSlam to the strap match, but Hell in a Cell, these two guys had to go out there and kill each other and bring a level of violence. Because usually when I see a lot of Hell in a Cell matches, I always kind of gone on about they don't utilize the cell enough, and it just becomes like a street fight within a Hell in a Cell, which you could say to some extent and want that. But given the way they just use weapons and just like the Easter eggs you can find in there and the cell jobs, this was great. This was the best thing out of the night. Like I said, it's kind of hard to follow this. Okay, so this was awesome. This was a hell of a match. So at first I was like, you know what? I wish it was the main event and we could have ended off from there. But this, like I said, it opened up, and we know why it didn't main event. We'll get to that later on. But this was just one hell of an opener, man. Great fucking match. Great
Man,
match.
yeah, beautiful match. And one of it was my favorite match of the night, and the emotion, the storytelling, everything got you hooked. Even the post match, even Punk trying to leave the ring, can't leave the ring. He's summoning. He can't breathe. Need the oxygen mask, but he still want to go back there. On his own. Man, everything was great. Everything was great. I didn't have a nitpick with it. That's the crazy part about it. Usually, you even if it with matches that you did like, you will probably find something you didn't like. But nah, not with this one. Not with this one. The only match that used blood. I like. I told my cousin, I'm like, I hate to do the comparison all the time. But you always have to because it's different companies. But they did more with their cage match with less weapons than Swerve and Hangman did with their cage match with more weapons. And I was like, it's not the amount of weapons that going to bring the people in and going to make you feel it. It's just about a storytelling that you can tell that going to bring the people in, and which they did. And the symbolic slamming the door on the feud. That was symbolic and that was beautiful because it's done now, and it was a great way to end it. I don't really have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with the winner, because I kind of figured out who was gonna win that match. It was going to be CM Punk, and like, I really don't have a problem, bro. It was, man, an A+ match, a 5-star match, whatever you want to call it. Whatever you want to call it. It was that match. And I was like, well, shit, this match of the year to me. I don't really see nothing else. We already got like how many months, right? It's like what, November, December, man. We October, November, December, man. Ain't nobody about to do anything like that in 3 months. Back to you, boy.
Yeah, this was great. I almost forgot about the deadlift suplex Drew did on Punk to the table to the outside. I almost forgot about that.
That took so much energy out of him. He couldn't even lift the table, the stairs anymore after that. He was like, "Oh, skip this. I ain't about to lift this." He says, "Boy, he." I was like, "That was pure strength." Oh my god, that was man. But that was good. Oh man, that was
No, it was this
good.
was great. Like, it's not really a lot to, I guess, nitpick from. This feud has been it's been great, and this was a great way to close the chapter on this now. Obviously, I'm sure people are going to wonder where Punk or Drew will move on to next. I feel like Punk will move on to Seth soon enough, or probably go for the world heavyweight title. Drew, I'm not really sure which is going to go next. So it is questions of what's going to happen, because this feud has to be over now. It's definitely it's over. Like, it's
They
done.
probably break a little bit. You probably. I don't even. I wouldn't even expect to see them on Monday Night Raw this Monday.
Yeah, because these guys beat the living shit out of each other, okay? And like I said, Drew was just bleeding like heavily out there. Like, the Crimson Mask was just crazy of the amount of blood he had spilled throughout that whole match. I still think that Claymore kick onto the steel steps where he landed on the edge of it, that was brutal. I thought that was brutal. So like
Man,
it was.
it was brutal, but it was like a beautiful opening. Like in any type of sports, you always looking for an opening, and that was a beautiful opening. As soon as he smacked it, because you remember all of that, he was in control. They just came back. They just came back off of that series, off of that not the series, off of the deadlift spot that you were talking about, and he was in control. So as soon as he get wait for the Claymore kick and he missed it, that was a beautiful opening, and that set up everything. That set up the ending right there, because that's the only way he could have set up for him to be so hurt.
Yeah, just like hitting the GTS with the steel chain and whatnot. But nah, just like you just look at the small things throughout this match and just the story of it, and just like I said with the friendship bracelet, which a lot of people said like these guys have been feuding with a damn friendship bracelet, and like how over it is right now. That's the crazy part about it. So this damn friendship bracelet was so over that they started to sell merchandise, I believe, on it too.
Yeah, I heard somebody was trying to sue the person who gave CM Punk this friendship bracelet. They was trying to call themselves trying to sue because it became a item on a story as a storyline, but obviously they didn't win. Because it was a gift. You can't sue over a gift, especially
Now they
something.
made it to a big thing that now they do sell it because of how popular this feud got. Like I said, a friendship bracelet has gotten over in a wrestling feud that people now will go and buy it. So that's crazy. But yeah, this was just one hell of a match. Basically, damn, it took almost the first hour of the whole show in general. So it was this was great. Like I said, I don't really have anything bad to say about it, man. He did it for the dog. He did it for the dog and his wife. He did it. He did it for his dog and his wife. Because at some point, I thought that dog was going to get kidnapped in this feud, but I guess we can't go that far with it. But we because at some point people thought AJ was actually going to show up or the dog was going to hit a move on somebody.
He talking about the dog hit a move on somebody.
The dog's
Somebody
going to come up,
with the mega lick.
going to take a crap on you. It's going to bite you or something. So yeah, we thought that was going to happen, but. Moving on from the Hell in a Cell, I know they showed a lot of people throughout the night in the crowd. Good to see Jacqueline again.
Yeah,
Uh,
I had to explain who Jacqueline was to my little cousin. Man. He at first he didn't know who Jacqueline was. I had to explain to him. He started watching wrestling when she had took basically retired from the WWE. He basically started watching wrestling then, but I had to tell him like, man, if she would, let's just say, if she was came up in the wrong era. If she was in this era, she would have been killing it.
that's true. Nah, Jacqueline was definitely the shit though. Like, no, they said she was really that tough. Like,
Yeah,
seriously, like she was. Someone say she was in the wrong era because she would fit well in here. She would. I know the attitude there was a lot of crazy stuff when it came to the women, but she's like one of those legit people.
yeah.
So yeah, still looks good. So I had Lillian Garcia out there. At this point, I just don't even really believe Lillian Garcia really ages because she just looks the same all the time,
All the time, right? Like
literally all the time.
Lillian look good all the time, and it's man all the time. Every time we see her like earlier this year.
Oh yeah, she showed up on a random episode of Raw and just kind of just give us Samantha Irvin props because I think that just had to do with people. Was it like people still going on about Samantha on the internet and kind of going on her about her announcing, and I guess they just brought in Lillian to kind of bring damage control so she could put her over. Like, I have no problem with Samantha Irvin. I never have. I think she's a great announcer. The only thing I've ever really said was I thought that crime stuff was egregious at WrestleMania.
And one thing is, Like I think people need to find the real people to really ignore. Like it's some people that's just not gonna like anything. You know that we on the internet all the time. We on the social media all the time, and we see these things. We see people who just literally just don't like anything, or and when they or it's for no reason, or only reason I can think of is try to, argue with others. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't, at the same time, I don't understand why everybody make a big deal out of these people saying stuff about them. And we didn't need damage control. All we just need is her to do her job. We didn't
So
care. We just never cared about what those people said like that.
yeah, because some people believe that she's taken away from the show, or kind of making it about her self when announcing people and whatnot, and just doing too much.
I don't know. Like you said, only thing that you can really take away from WrestleMania. Other than that, we talking about she been doing nice work, A1
Yeah,
work.
I've never really had
Right,
nothing bad to say about Samantha Irvin. I think she's a great announcer. Like I said, the only thing I really just said, I just thought the crying stuff was egregious. That's all I said. Was WrestleMania, I was just kind of like, all right, come on now. Like, come on. Now Cody is the champion. Like, let's not take all day here. The show's gone all long as it is. So I just thought the crying stuff was egregious. Like, I still stand by that. But other than that, I have nothing really to complain about her.
yeah,
That's
but
my take. But what I know they showed the VIP lounge, and Bianca and them still hosting it. And throughout the night, you saw people up there because I know X Pac. I know they showed him late in the crowd, but what DDP was up there, and we saw him in the crowd, and who else? Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, Four Horsemen. Mickey James we also saw too, because wow, the last time I really saw I think the last time I really saw Mickey James was live back at Bound for Glory when I went to TNA back in October. So I haven't seen Mickey James in a pretty good while now.
I ain't seen right. Haven't seen her in a while. And like you said, like since bound for glory.
When
I,
she faced Trinity, Naomi for the Knockouts title. That was the last time I really saw her in person, when she went against Trinity for the title.
oh man, so is she still under contract?
I don't know if she really is under contract with TNA at this point, and we know Nick Aldis, her husband, works in the WWE, so I don't know if she signed a Legends contract. I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe Mickey James will be back. I have zero clue. I just know she was just one of the people that they showed throughout the night. So yeah, still looks good though.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
Always.
But moving on, though, and this was a hard act to follow, especially after the Hell in a Cell match. Nia Jax versus Bayley for the women's title. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really have much care for this match. I thought this was very botchy throughout multiple times, that it was to a point I was just kind of whatever on it. Especially just from that. Well, I don't know who thought it was a good idea to tell Nia Jax to try to do a Hurricane Rana, but that was bad and just looked dangerous. I'm like, who told her to do that? Don't get me wrong. There's some big people that can fly and do moves like that. She just ain't one of them people. And I know the announcers tried to cover it, but it didn't work. But just from the botch Samoan drop, and there was like a few more botches I saw. It's just like, I just didn't think this match was all that. It was just kind of whatever to some extent. Um, but they're still trying to keep going with this match still. But that Samoan drop was crazy. But it got to one point where the ref bump came in, and I know Bayley pinned Jax, which Bayley kind of knocked into the referee. But then Bayley hit Jax, which Jax landed on the referee then, and I guess kind of squashed her. So yes, the refrigerator, you could say, squashed her, and then Bayley hit her finisher, but the ref was down. Tiffany Stratton came out to possibly cash in her Money in the Bank briefcase and start hitting Bayley with it then. And then, she looks at both Bayley and Jax down and looks like she's contemplating on cashing. Nia Jax just sits up like the Undertaker all of a sudden and just goes straight. It's like,
The only one who saw that.
like just sits up like she's Undertaker for all of a sudden for some reason now. And then starts going as Tiffany, and then Bayley ended up knocking Jax into Tiffany then. And then she's on the outside ring. And the next botch we saw was what? Stratton tried to use her briefcase against Bayley, but if you saw Bayley, she tried to throw the briefcase at back at Tiffany, but it didn't even come. It's like Tiffany got hit with the air. I kind of had to rewind because I thought that was funny because like she threw the briefcase, which was so off. It didn't even come near her. Like only just hit the ropes. Like Tiffany just like I guess she just had to take a bump to make it look like she got hit, but it was so far off. Like I couldn't sit but help but laugh at that then. Like I was like, what the hell was that? But then like Nia Jax ended up just hitting like a big Samoan drop or something onto Bayley after the distraction, and it hit her Annihilator for the win. So I'm not really surprised that Nia Jax won here. I didn't really think Bayley was going to get the title back anyways. So I didn't think this match was really good. And like I said, they had a hard act to follow after Hell in a Cell, but I just thought this was botchy, and I just didn't think it was good.
To be honest with you, boy, it was so boring that I barely want to pay attention to it. I think I paid attention to like the big spots. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like using my ears to listen to Corey Graves and Michael Cole a lot, so I can pop my head up every time they project their voice or something more. Oh my God, or something like that. I'm like, oh, what happened? But it was so boring. Like, real talk. And I like I'm at the point right now. It's like I don't think SmackDown got enough top women. I ain't saying enough women, top women to go for the title yet. And that's why we went for Bayley. Went again. You know what I'm saying? They probably ain't go defend the title for on a pay per view for next couple of pay per views. We got what? We got Saudi Arabia in the first next one. They not going for the title then. They got this little stupid matches that going for the for that bogus title. Yeah, at Survivor Series, she probably ain't gonna defend it then either. So it probably gonna be also SmackDown specials. They gonna defend the title because there's no real contender. There's no real pay per view type matches that you could use with Nia Jax versus who? Misha? No. Who? Chelsea Green? No. Like Piper Nimitz, nah, all of that stuff you could do on SmackDown. You know what I'm saying? And you don't need to do that on the pay per view. So WWE title, it kind of, I mean, the WWE Women's Championship right now is it kind of in a tough spot, very very tough spot because there are no real contenders. You got a monster champion that you can get over, but there's no real contenders.
True. And I think also, I know a lot of people kind of pointing this out on SmackDown that WWE is still trying to do revisionist history when Bayley was out there saying that Nia Jax is one of the most dominant women's champion of all time. I'm like, she only had the title for like 2-3 months now. I don't think it's been that dominant, and I guess she was like naming a lot of people in the past, and they said only top people that was credible names when she named was like what, Trish and Lita, and not really anybody else. I guess you could say during the time period, during the Ruthless Aggression era, but it's like when Bayley was naming like Molly Holly and like Victoria and others, like were they really in the best position during that time period?
No.
If you want to say that. Victoria to a little extent before they kind of made her a joke, but
yeah. When they first brought out Victoria, you know what I'm saying? When they first introduced her, that's what they started using. But when I'm not the lady to mess with. Oh, damn, that went downhill after that. It was over with.
yeah, I remember Molly Holly getting shaved bald and was a superhero at one point too. I didn't mind Mighty Molly, but yeah, the shaved head thing.
I noticed her ability. I knew that she can go. Get me wrong, but they didn't present her like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a difference between them presenting you like you can go and you actually can go. There's a lot of wrestlers that can probably go, but they ain't how you being presented. You being presented as a joke. Nobody gonna be looking at you as a main eventer. You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Nobody looking at you like that.
So like, unless you weren't Trisha Lita during that time period, you kind of fell back. And even Beth Phoenix, I know she named too. Beth always had an up and down thing too. Like
Yeah,
that's another person. So
yeah,
Beth,
you right on that. Right, Beth had a lot of ups and downs too in her career and how they pushed her.
yeah. So I thought it was just a lot of revisionist history with WWE there and trying to say Jackson's one of the most dominant champions. I'm like, I don't know about all that, but one thing I'll say this: you talk about challengers, especially for Jax. Once again, I brought this up before when it comes to Bianca and whatnot, but we have her stuck in a mid-card tag team right now that we don't really have her back as top dog again right now. So we got Bianca doing something else.
Here's the
So
thing. Here's the thing, Bray. You don't want her to come unless you want to put the title on her.
that's the only way I feel like. That's the
Yeah.
only.
So if you ain't ready to put the title on her, don't put her against Nia Jax yet.
Yeah, they probably wait till around WrestleMania time to do something like that. So, because like I know Naomi's not gonna beat Jax also anyway. So yeah, I would still think Bianca, but I feel like they wouldn't wait till Bianca till like Mania time for her to get the title back again. Like that's the only other way, because I don't really know who else right now, unless they have Tiffany cash it in some type of crazy fashion, which may happen soon. Maybe I don't know, but that's the only other way. But yeah, it's not like a lot of challenges. So yeah, I just didn't really like this match. It was kind of whatever, and it was just a lot of botches. And Jax was gonna win. So, and like I said, they had a rough spot to go on after Hell in a Cell. So that's my take on it.
And if the match was good, yeah, the spot coming out the Hell of the Cell wouldn't be so difficult for them. But the match wasn't good, so that's what made it really bad. You came out the Hell of the Cell, and you came with the bull crap. Like nah, it's like it wasn't a good match. Period. No matter, it could have came out to the Damian Priest Finn match. It just wasn't a good match.
Yeah, and I'm not gonna go into Bayley's title reign before, because I know some people think she's gonna get the title back. I didn't think she was at all. So don't even get me started with Bayley's booking, especially last time as champion, because no, it wasn't it. So we'll see what happens next. But moving on, no, this match is now brought to you by Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, coming out the next few days. So I'm looking forward to getting that game hopefully soon, because I really want to play that. That they even had Xavier Woods go out there and just kind of describe the game. So yeah, DBZ, DB Super, all the movies, whatever. It's coming out soon. 181 characters. So Budokai Tenkaichi 4. Looking forward to that. But yes, the next match is Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. I know they have Finn come out with like a black mask and a white stripe down his like the mask, and then was like like some black paint on or something, like with an F on his face and or something like that. I don't know what I know he had like some paint on his yeah, it was like on his face, like with an F on it, I guess with Finn. So interesting gear he had out there. I like his shoes though. But also they did have more people in the crowd. We got Quavo out there, Migos, Lil Baby, and Metro Boomin wants some more, nigga. So yeah, they're out there in the crowd too. Priest versus Finn. I enjoyed this match. I thought it was really good. It was a solid match. It's not much I could say about it. Obviously, you were gonna get some Judgment Day shenanigans out there, and you just had Priest fight them all off. And even after when Finn got the coup de grace and whatnot, because he was hitting that coup de grace like a few times out there. I know it was one part where they kind of botched it a little, and I don't know if Priest either collapsed or maybe Finn was too far, but it like the shot was just too far away from it. but when they tried to go for a third one, Priest ended up hitting the South of Heaven and winning the match. So like I said, it was a solid match. It's kind of what I expected from both of these guys. I wasn't really surprised with the interferences out there. I know some would think that they could have just threw this match on Monday Night Raw, which I could have believed that too. But yeah, Priest getting the win makes him look strong. I don't know if he'll go back for the title soon. I don't know if this is really going to be over with Finn yet, but it was a solid match. Like, I don't really got that much to say about it. Like I said before, kind of with the women's match, I feel like the crowd did kind of get back into it a little bit more. But I said, like, going after that Hell in a Cell match, that's what kind of made it rough for the next few matches, I felt like, until we got towards the end of the show. So, good stuff. So it's not much I can go on about this, but I think this feud will probably continue.
Oh, I definitely disagree that it should never been on a Raw. It was bad blood. It called bad blood. And this was the baddest of the blood right here. Then this man betrayed you. You was the teammate with him. This was the blowout feud right here.
Yeah, I
And
was blow off.
because what else you gonna do? It's gonna go too long because you don't want to. You really don't want it to go too long. And people gonna be disinterested after a while. Well, what else you gonna do? What else can you
Street
do?
fight.
This man whooped all three of y'all.
Yeah, Priest already beat all three of them up, so it's not like I've said this about Judgment Day before. People, I've been kind of debate this. Everybody's, this could be the new Balor Club and whatnot. I said, nah, Finn's got too many goofballs behind him to be the Balor Club.
You're right, and they showed that yesterday. That was all those people was the Goose Squad. I swear, JD Madonna, Carlito. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. It's what else you go do? What else can you do? Like, I don't know. If it is, they could probably call themselves trying to stretch it to war games or something. I don't know. It's like it's just, to me, I think Damian and Rhea should go ahead, fuck around, and move on right now because I, you know, yesterday kind of deflated me with that women's world title match, and even though this was a good match, I don't know, I don't, I don't know about them that women's world title match what we about to talk about soon.
Yeah, we will get into that. But yeah, Finn and Priest, yeah, I don't know how much you could really go on still if they want to keep moving it on. Like, Priest finally got his payback on Finn. So I would assume this is kind of over and whatnot, and we move on to the next thing. But I'm not sure. So I guess we'll see what happens. But it's like you told me earlier, like, hey, they made Priest look like a monster out there. He's taking that out like three guys despite all the interference, and hey, he still won. And then again, I had a feeling Priest was just gonna win anyways, this whole feud. So he got his big payback, and I think we just go on from this now, I would assume.
Uh, nah, bro. I would say this. If they wanted to, continue it, they should have just let Finn win. You
That would have
know,
continued it, yeah.
that would have continued it, but you did let you let Damian win already, so they should move on. But yeah, you know, decent match, good match. But what we about to talk about now?
I almost
What?
forgot Finn was the tag team champion, by the way, still.
Nobody, they don't defend it, and nobody can blame you if you did forget. It's
Yeah, they never defended. And that's why I was like, oh yeah, Finn does have a title. I keep forgetting that. Like, that's tell you about both tag team titles, about Raw and SmackDown. I forget who the champions are after time on there, unless they come up. So I was like, oh yeah, Finn is still the tag team champion. So I just kind of forgot about it. So I just kind of want to point that out there too. But moving on though, Triple H came out, and this segment felt like a waste of time. And I didn't really think this went anywhere other than just to promote a match for Monday Night Raw. But this felt like a waste of time that I didn't really need to see this. Because Triple H comes out and they got a title out there in the covered, the podium and whatnot, and it's something for Crown Jewel. And Triple H talked about how he lived up the road in Atlanta, I guess at Windy Hill many years ago, and how he was terrorizing in WCW. And he's just putting over the show and whatnot. But then he talked about Crown Jewel, which the crowd started to groan in because they didn't care. And I guess how this match is gonna work with both the top champions on both Raw and SmackDown will shit, this probably could have been, this is some Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series type stuff, but I guess they will face each other at Crown Jewel, which it'll be for the Crown Jewel title. And I don't really like the design of this belt. It looks really big. It reminds me when they did make a title for Crown Jewel a few years ago when they did that 50-man Royal Rumble, and then Braun Strowman held around like a giant green belt for like a few weeks until it disappeared then. And they talk about how, oh, look at all the carats and the diamonds and the gold and all this belt. I'm like, I don't really like the design of this belt, okay? And then they send Gunther out there then and shake Triple H's hand. And he gets on the mic, say, we can't have bad blood without the world champion. I'm like, well, damn, I wish they would have put the world title match on this show then. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But Gunther talked about this title is beautiful. And, I'll have another title in the next few weeks after I beat Sami Zayn then. And then he said, we got a legend in the audience. And fans started to chant Goldberg. Goldberg's out there with his son. And then Gunther basically said, when I told Bret Hart, that Goldberg was my hero, it's not true. And then tells his son, I'm not impressed with a one trick pony like Goldberg. And, I'm just busting your balls, but I hope your son finds better help or better as a father than a professional wrestler, which Goldberg got pissed off and jumped the barricade then. And I'm thinking Goldberg's going to get in there and try to spear Gunther, which I guess they probably wouldn't do because we don't want to make the world champion look that bad unless you're going to start building the Goldberg versus Gunther at Crown Jewel, but I don't think that's going to happen. And then, Goldberg, he's trying to get through all the security guards and whatnot, but they're trying to stop him. Sami Zayn gets in the ring and just starts brawling with Gunther then, and they kind of both end up brawling to the back until Sami and Goldberg end up standing tall then out there. Honestly, I was expecting Goldberg to spear somebody. I honestly wouldn't mind if he had speared Triple H for a waste of his time of a segment, okay? I don't, I think we already talked about this earlier. Fans don't really be caring what goes on around there in Saudi Arabia, okay? I get they want to make it important. You already got this 10-year deal with them as it is anyway, so we got to make them look important, but the fans over here don't really care. This is a waste of a segment. They could have just itched this off the card here because it's not like Goldberg didn't hit a spear on somebody. That at least would have been something, but they could have put a match in place of this. Now, yeah, we debated on the 5-match card thing because I think Triple H just wants to make this like NXT TakeOver. Listen, it worked for NXT TakeOver, but this is the main roster we're talking about, okay? I get you want to kind of get through the show quicker. I know some will debate that. Nobody else wants to sit all day and watch that much wrestling and whatnot. I'm not saying you got to put on 15 matches like AEW, but I think 7 would at least been a good number. Personally, I think they should have put Gunther and Sami Zayn on the pay-per-view for the World Heavyweight Championship, then wait till Monday Night Raw to do it. Hell, I think we already discussed this before. They could have put but Andrade and Carmelo Hayes as a Game 7 match on this pay-per-view. That would have been good too. They could have really put something else in place of this because how many people care about this Saudi Arabia and this damn belt? And it's like, okay, we gotta get Gunther and Sami on the show one way or another, so we'll do that and we'll add Goldberg to the mix, even though he didn't really take any. But hell, he could have took out a security guard with a spear at least or something. But no, this felt like a waste of time. This was just time wasted. But I guess we gotta stretch time out so they can get to the end of the pay-per-view. We'll put something here. But I felt like they could have put a match in this place. So this was just a waste of time. Literally.
Yeah, straight waste of time. Straight up waste of time. I didn't like it. The belt looked ugly. I don't care how many carats or diamonds that you got in there. You ain't. It still look ugly. Um, I wish Goldberg would have went in there and jackhammered Triple H for wasting all our time.
Well, Curdy here, everybody.
And man, that was horrible. That was horrible. Um, other than that, yeah, that was just bad. I couldn't really.
Like I said, I wouldn't mind if we saw Gunther and Sammy on the show for the World Championship. I was like, all right, I guess we got to make Raw look important the night after Bad Blood, so we got to do something, I guess. But I just felt this whole thing was a waste of time. And unless I don't know if you're really building Goldberg to go against anybody, or what. I don't think so. But and I get Goldberg's his importance to Atlanta for obvious reasons. But no, this was a waste of time, especially for a title that nobody is really gonna care about and whatnot, especially with Saudi Arabia and the way they presented this. Like, this is some Raw versus SmackDown. You're gonna win this championship belt and everything. So it is what it is. But I thought this was a waste of time. I know they went back to the VIP booth then. I know they were talking to Metro. And then Chelsea Green and Piper Niven showed up, which I guess Chelsea Green still smells bad from the dumpster match, which they even said, like, yeah, you need to go take a shower. But Piper can stay, though. Which Piper's like, I want to stay. So, yeah, since everybody was walking away from Chelsea yesterday after she stunk. So I would assume she took a shower at this point, but maybe take a few more showers.
Yeah, I didn't understand that segment. Like how she still thinks from that yesterday. Like why y'all riding with her? Why y'all
Yeah.
in the same locker room with her? Why she looking dressed up right now and she still think? But
Why
what
is
did she
Piper still walking around following her then?
right? I ain't understand that. Nothing. It
So
wasn't.
they just had to put that in there. Next, Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley, 40 women's world title, and Dominic Mysterio in a shark cage. Dominic and Liv come out in a lowrider with some West Coast music. Basically, they got to sell this Mattel lowrider toy and whatnot. So they did their best to try to make him like Eddie, basically.
Yeah,
Uh, they really tried their best to make him like Eddie Guerrero out here, coming out with the lowrider. And, one thing I can say about this match and going to main event, I see they brought the body cam, you know, referees back again, which I honestly wasn't really the biggest fan of back at SummerSlam. So I don't know why they brought this back. And I know some people not gonna like it for other reasons. I guess when it comes to the police and everything. So it's like, yeah, why do referees need body cams now? But I don't understand that. But Ripley and Liv Morgan, they got Dominic in the cage. Listen, a lot of this was just Ripley dominating throughout a lot of this match. Even Damian hitting like a Three Amigos out there too. Well, Liv tried to hit the Three Amigos, but Ripley stopped the last one. I don't feel like really nothing really important really happened with this match until kind of near the end of it when Dominic, I guess, tried to get out of the cage then from midair because he was just sitting there most of the time all petrified. And what Rhea hit like a riptide on the Liv Morgan onto the floor then. And when the cage, Dom tried to lean out, he fell out of it, but his leg was strapped to the chain, which, by the way, looks really dangerous, by the way, too. But, they did it well, and he's just kind of, basically like a sitting duck right there in midair. He basically became the new whacking pinata then, since Ripley ended up getting a kendo stick in and telling the cameraman, like, wait right here 1 minute. I got unfinished business to do. So Ripley got a kendo stick, and Dominic is now a pinata. There's no candy falling out of him, but he started getting beat with a kendo stick. And then next thing you know, we got the return of Raquel Gonzalez, which I had a strong feeling she was going to show up for some reason. We haven't seen Raquel in a long time. I know she had some health problems. I think it was like a skin disease or something she had. So it is great to see her back. And I guess this match ended in a DQ then too. So even though Raquel was already beating up Ripley for like a good minute until she got thrown back in the ring, and then the referee finally hit the bell. Then like the ref should hit the bell as soon as she got hit, but Raquel ended up hitting the Chikanga bomb onto Ripley and helped Liv Morgan out. Obviously, her and Liv Morgan were tag team champions before, so I guess now they've given Liv Morgan a new heavy. So yeah, Ripley didn't lose here. It was a DQ finish. Then again, come on, you knew something screwy was going to. It's a shark cage match. I knew Ripley wasn't going to win the title back here. You know something screwy was going to happen. It was either Judgment Day was going to come out or somebody was going to come out. And then it ended up in a DQ finish. So obviously this feud will continue, probably going to Survivor Series or maybe Crown Jewel. The title will be back on the line. Or just get Ripley versus Raquel then next. So yeah, we've given Liv a heavy now. So yeah. I was up and down about this whole thing. I get it was to push the angle and, Raquel return, but like through a majority of this match, I feel like I was just kind of waiting near the end for something important to happen.
See, the first women match wasn't good because it was boring to me. This match right here wasn't good because it was stupid. Like, so she go decide, hey, referee, you ain't gonna count me out, are you? Oh nah. I'm about to go out there and do my thing. Well, hold on, ref. When do we do that? When do we allow the other people to say, oh, man, come on, man, it was stupid. It was dumb. DQ finish. And like, okay, and Raquel Gonzalez. All right, understandable. Yeah, live a heavy, you know, that's see where this goes. But it was just, I don't know, I just really wasn't feeling it. I don't, it's just really me. I don't know if it was just me. It was just I really wasn't feeling it like that.
I think I was just waiting for Dominic to play some factor into this match, given he was going to find some way out of the shark cage and whatnot, but he basically became a whacking pinata then. So good to see Raquel back, but I was like, DQ finish, huh? Okay. So obviously this still continues and whatnot. So Ripley didn't lose here. So I know it's probably going to be a rematch anyways now for the title. So I don't know. It is what it is, but I just felt like I was waiting until something with Dominic happened that something was going to factor into the match. Like the rest of the match itself was what it was. Like, and not saying it was bad or anything. Just I think I was just waiting for something important to happen.
Yeah, I guess we had to wait to the end, for everything. I just, it was an eye match. I guess it was okay. I guess it did the job. Introducing the heavy folk, Leah Morgan.
True. So I think that's all it really accomplished and what it was going to do. So it is what it is. But given the shark cage, I think I was just waiting for some scurry with Dominic to happen, and it did. And Raquel came out, and now she has Liv's got a heavy. So it is what it is. Next, I know they show like a vignette with Detroit. I am going to assume that is the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yes.
So I'm
Yeah.
assuming they're coming real soon. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
I think they're going straight to the main roster. That's what I.
Maybe because they don't really need to be in NXT.
You're
They're
right.
above that.
They above that. They been a staple in people wrestling live for at least 20 years plus. So they did their thing. They know what they doing. They not no developmental team. They are veterans. They know what they doing. They know how to hype up crowds. They know. Hey man, let them do their thing, man. I say go to SmackDown though. Real talk.
Yeah, because I know the tag team division on both shows has been kind of up and down, and I feel like tag team division, like just in the whole company, has not been all that in general. So hopefully they bring some type of spark to it. But looking at the tags right now, it ain't been all that. I'm talking about both Raw and SmackDown. Like it really hasn't. So hopefully the Guns make some type of difference on there. We'll see. But I can't really say I've enjoyed the tag team vision for a good while when it comes to Raw and SmackDown. That I even like I forget who's even the champions half the time. So, like I said, I'm assuming it's the Motor City Machine Guns, given they kept showing a lot of Detroit. But I think they ought to just go to the main roster. I think they're above NXT. Like I get helping out the young guys out there, but I'm not trying to see them lose all the time down there either. I get you got to put people over, but this is a top level team we're talking about here.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see if it's the Guns coming soon enough. What else? I know I know they had Scott Steiner in the crowd, so it was good to see him. But in the main event, tag team match, the Bloodline, Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns and the WWE champion Cody Rhodes. And they had Cody Rhodes come out to a marching band, the Arkansas Pine Bluff marching band, which I guess they've been on YouTube playing Cody Rhodes' theme song. And, they did the whole entrance with it, with the whoa, and Cody's got his skull mess. I thought it was quite interesting that Cody, being the WWE champion, came out first, and this is his hometown of, well, I don't know if it's Atlanta, but he is from Georgia and whatnot. So I'm like, wow, the WWE champion is coming out first before Roman. I thought he'd be the last thing to come out. But yeah, Cody Rhodes, like I said, huge entrance. And then they have Roman Reigns come out to an orchestra then. I believe it was the Georgia orchestra and whatnot. So he's got like a orchestra of his theme song. And, one thing they noted, which I almost had a feeling like it was going to happen, but given the commentary already said, like, this is similar to Dusty Rhodes teaming with Ole Anderson back then to go against the Assassins. And Ole Anderson ended up turning on Dusty and the Omni and whatnot. It was a pretty big deal back then in the NWA. So a lot of people were comparing it to that. That's if Roman was going to betray Cody Rhodes. But like I said, Cody and Roman got these huge entrances out there. One thing I'm going to say this right now throughout this match, I felt like Roman was more over than Cody. Because them OTC chants, they were out there. I really believe Roman was more over than Cody out here. Like, I'm going to say that right now. But the tag team match itself, I think this was really good. I know it started off a little bit slow, but obviously they were going to build it up and, something big was going to keep happening throughout this match. Right off the bat, you already got Jacob Fatu, no selling the damn disaster kick and just kind of coming back with a super kick in after that. So I thought that was crazy. But I think this match was, like I said, this was a very solid tag team match going throughout the whole thing. Especially going towards the end of it, because even, Reigns going back at Solo and everything, kind of get out of the whole Samoan Spike thing, getting with the Superman punch. And, he's going for the spear and all that. But, Jacob keeps getting back involved. Cody and Jacob end up going out to the ringside. Cody ran Jacob into the steel steps, which, Jacob just kept getting back up, even through, like, the timekeeper's area. And even, he's still getting up, which Cody ended up having, like, throw him into, like, a steel chair, then hit the crossroads, which he says, you go down now. And he put him through a crossroads, and then he put him onto the table then, on the announce table, and Cody did, like, a big splash to the outside, because, like, Jacob was just not gonna go down. Like, Cody's hitting super kicks. He wouldn't go down, so he had to put a splash through the table then on him. And then Reigns, he's going back for, the big spear and whatnot. God come out then, distracting Roman, and Solo take out Roman, and he's just directing traffic. But then next thing you know, you saw a guy with a hoodie on standing right there, and Solo's like, who the heck is that? And then, the person, like the masked individual, just super kicks God, and it ends up being the return of Jimmy Uso, who was taken out by Solo and Jacob Fatu, and not Jacob Fatu at the time, but Tama Tonga and them. So Jimmy Uso is back. Jimmy just looks at Sosako like he just saw a ghost out there. And Roman ends up coming back, hits the spear onto Solo Sikoa then. And I did like Jimmy Uso's t-shirt. It says like they are not the ones and whatnot. So Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes end up getting the win. Jimmy Uso got in and celebrated with Roman. Roman wasn't sure if he wanted to trust Jimmy at first, but they hugged in after that. And like we got the band back together, like the OG Bloodline. And as they stood tall after that, they looked at Cody then as Reigns, they just ended up leaving because Reigns was looking at the title. And as they walked away, the Bloodline got back in and attacked Cody Rhodes after. And Jimmy says, I'm with you, Oos. What we gonna do? You the tribal chief. What we gonna do? You OTC. What's up? Like, what we doing? Because Reigns was like, I did my part of the deal. I don't got to do this no more. But they end up getting back in the ring. Then they cleared out the new Bloodline after that, took them out. Reigns picked up the WWE title then and looked at it. but he ended up giving it back to Cody, almost like I'm coming back for this one day. And then The Rock's music hits then, and the crowd just go nuts after that. He still got that people's title belt thing that Muhammad Ali's wife gave him. So The Rock just kind of puts like 3 fingers and the 1 in the air and whatnot. So, like I said, The Rock just kind of looked at Cody and Roman and all them, and then The Rock turned, he turned around and he left in. So a solid main event with a lot of surprises going on and all of this. So some would wonder how many L's is Jacob Fatu going to take out here, because he's been taking a lot of L's, which I'm surprised the other members haven't questioned him then. Now, you the tribal chief, but you've been taking too many L's though at the same time. But we got the return of Jimmy Uso and the return of The Rock now. Obviously, this is going to lead into a Bloodline Civil War, which I believe will be a War Games match at Survivor Series. Now, the question is, the new Bloodline has 4 people right now. Roman's got Jimmy with him. Is The Rock with him? Hell, will Jey Uso get involved with them if that's the case? I don't know. But it is this was a big cliffhanger ending right here. So, obviously, this is some solid stuff. So, I understand why this did end the show with The Rock and Jimmy Uso returning now. Because, I wonder how this was going to end, but given how this feud is gone, and them standing on the football field, which we already seen that too, which I'm really getting tired of people saying the word cinema. This is not a movie. I don't know how you feel about that, but I'll say some more about that in a second. But yeah, solid main event and 2 big returns.
Um, yeah, we need to slap the mess out of people who keep on calling stuff cinema. You want to keep on calling stuff like that, man. This ain't no movie. This ain't Hollywood, man. But
I'm sorry not to cut you off. I get it's an episodic television show when it comes to Raw and SmackDown. And yeah, I know they shot it like the Fast and the Furious when they did that football promo. I get why they were on the field, given Roman used to play for the Georgia Bulldogs and all that, and Cody is from Atlanta and everything. But when I just hear the word cinema so much, and not even just WWE, but just anywhere in wrestling, it's just like, yo, this isn't a movie. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna nobody's gonna play the whole, oh no, you're old and everything. No, that shit just sounds stupid. I'm sorry. This isn't a movie. So I still think the word cinema is ridiculous. But everything else throughout this match I did like, and big cliffhanger ending.
I love the match. I ain't gonna lie to you. I love how the Bloodline cut off the ring. You old school wrestling tactics, cut it off the half of the ring. Tag it in and out. Only time they really looked like they were about to that Cody and Roman about to take over, they get cut off real quick. It was a nice little match back and forth. I liked it. And Jimmy Uso coming back was great. I like the ending where Jimmy was like, "Hey, you gave him his word. You gave him your word. Come on, I'm with you." And then he did go back. That kind of solidifies, the real, really, really turned up the face turn for him. You know what I'm saying? We already know he a face, but they turned it up to the max right there. He went to go help out the top baby face of the company now. You know, the Rock coming back, he should have just left the belt in the back. What you need that belt for, bro? What is that belt? It's unnecessary. Unnecessary. Sometimes Rock be doing some unnecessary stuff sometimes. Welcome back. We didn't need that belt. But that was dumb. But yeah, him coming back.
Loki runs this company.
He did need the belt, Bryce. Okay,
he's got to have a belt just because, like, we got to make him a champion.
So we gave you that people champion. That we gave you that nickname for forever. You've been having that nickname forever, and you ain't need a belt then. And now you need a belt now to solidify yourself as the people champion. You've been a people champion for over 25 years.
No, he has a title now. We must give it to him. Like, dude, I don't need to see him go back out there on Raw with Cody saying, like, "Can I touch your belt? Can I touch your belt?" all right, we're gonna touch each other's belts. Like I still think that was so awkward. They did that the night after WrestleMania. Like, yeah, this is nice. Yeah, that's a good belt, right? Nice belt. Yeah, yeah, nice belt. Like, why are we doing this? Like, can I touch your belt? Can I touch your belt? Like, what? Like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, but other than that, man, good hanger, that all speed, all speed ahead to the next pay per view that really matters, and that's Survivor Series.
Because that's what's gonna happen. Yeah, one thing I said earlier. I don't know how you feel about this. Do you think Roman was more over than Cody out there?
Nah, I kind of disagree because here's the thing: they ain't got nothing to chant with Cody. They haven't been chanting Cody name throw his interest before, so it would make no sense to you know throw in that chant. I think everybody was thrown off by that marching band because the marching band, to be honest with you, bro, that marching band wasn't really that good. I don't know. They sounded off. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really wasn't feeling them.
The
I
marching
think, yeah, I ain't really like the marching band. They sounded off. They didn't really sound on beat. I ain't know what they were trying to sing until not sing, but what they were trying to play until the end. I'm like, oh, they trying to play Cody song the whole time. Man, they sound bad. That's what I thought. I really thought they were thrown out by that. And then the orchestra sounds so much better. And that woke you up. The orchestra sounded so much better. Like, whoa, this sounds good. Then
yeah,
I think that's really what it was, right?
I think with the band, like when they did it solo, it wasn't that bad. But like once the music kind of starts playing, you kind of put it with the marching band, it's a little bit off in a way. And I actually thought it was kind of quite interesting that the WWE champion didn't come out last, and Roman did. I don't know.
Oh,
I thought that was quite interesting.
I don't know. I don't know how to look at that. I was just thinking they were trying to get the marching band out there first, then get the orchestra out there last. Cause you ain't really want to put that out to the orchestra. You want to put that marching band. That marching band sounded bad. You ain't want to put that right out to the orchestra.
Yeah, and I just said the orchestra, like the orchestra sounded really good, but I guess it's like, all right, we're gonna put the orchestra last and do the marching band first. Maybe because they had to kind of get them out of there early because they got a lot of equipment to carry.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's another thing too. So I just thought it was kind of interesting that Cody came out before Roman. I was like, oh, the WWE champion's not coming out last. Like, okay, that's quite interesting. So that's how I thought about it. But everything else, though, like I said, I thought it was a solid match. And like I said, you got the big returns of Jimmy Uso and The Rock. So obviously now it sinks your teeth into something to watch on SmackDown this Friday. And I
Yeah.
guess one other thing.
Too. Because Jay is still over there and Sammy is still over there. So you
Will
gotta
they
watch
get
out.
involved?
They're gonna get involved. They're gonna get involved. So watch out for that. They're gonna get involved, right? They're gonna have to. You can't do the original bloodline without them too.
Yeah.
Can't.
Do you think Paul Heyman will be back maybe by
Yeah.
SmackDown this Friday?
Man, that's
So
my guess.
we can't forget about him too.
No. I've been thinking about Paul the whole time. I was just thinking like when he gonna come back. This SmackDown will be smart right there. Bring him back right after the pay per view.
Because I feel like with The Rock will probably be on SmackDown this Friday, and Jimmy Uso. I feel like Paul Heyman could probably come out of nowhere on SmackDown coming up. So I think that's a possibility. Because if Jimmy's back, I'm like Heyman probably will be back soon too.
Right.
So I could definitely see that happen. I guess one other thing to address in all of this, and I guess this was on YouTube or whatever WWE posted. Have you seen the clip of Kevin Owens beating up Cody Rhodes in the parking lot?
So we already started it then. All right. So that's what we gonna do then.
because apparently the clip was of Cody Rhodes going to his tour bus and him and Kevin Owens talk, but then like you can't really hear it because the audio and all that, but it ends up with Kevin Owens start beating the hell out of Cody Rhodes, because fans I guess were just watching out in the parking lot waiting for people to get on the tour bus and all that, but Owens beat him up and then like the referees and producers had to come break it up, so that will obviously now play a factor in the SmackDown this Friday now too. Maybe because like Kevin Owens and them like, well, you picked Roman Reigns to be your partner. Why didn't you pick me?
Well, yeah, okay, then we already started it. I was wondering, so this what we gonna do then. So Cody, see, I like that because Cody need to be out of this part of the bloodline. This story part don't need Cody. It's not about Cody. It's straight family business now. Strictly family business. You know, everybody in that storyline is family. That's gonna be so crazy, except for Sammy. When he get it.
Everybody else is all family, brothers, cousins, and all that.
uh,
So
yeah, but you get what I'm saying though. Like Cody don't need to be in this part. This not Cody part. So now Kevin Owens is mad for some of those reasons now that he did what he mad about, Bryce? What?
probably because he didn't get picked. Because we already seen Kevin Owens already kind of frustrated with Cody for a few weeks now, and Randy Orton was trying to be the mediator of everything. Yeah, I still think Orton's gonna turn sooner or later on Cody. I think we're still waiting on that, but I guess now they decided, like, all right, we're just gonna turn Kevin Owens now and go heel because he's already been frustrated with Cody for a few weeks now. Even from last week, he was like, "Listen, it's just me and Orton doing this tonight. You're not involved. Okay, we can do this. We don't need you."
But yeah, so now SmackDown going full steam ahead to, like I said, to the most important pay per view. I know Crown Jewel
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series. We are way on Survivor Series.
So yeah, basically Survivor Series. Overall though, this was a great show. I think my favorite things out of the night was obviously the Hell in a Cell match with Punk and Drew, and the main event with the Bloodline versus Cody and Roman with The Rock and Jimmy Uso returning back in WWE now. But yeah, those are my favorite things of the night. The worst thing out of the show was the whole Crown Jewel Triple H announcement thing, which felt like a waste of time. And I wasn't really the biggest fan out of both women's title matches. I think I didn't really like the SmackDown one more with Nia and Bayley. I didn't think I was really the biggest fan of that. I kind of tried to get into the other one with Rhea and Liv, but I was just kind of waiting on the Shark Cage with Dominic to do something, and Raquel ended up coming back. So I probably wasn't really the biggest fans of those matches, and I think Priest and Finn was a very solid match. But I think overall this was a really great show, especially for a pay per view you haven't used in many, 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 many years now. And they had to at least make it look big as possible. So they did bring out the big guns tonight, especially with the returns and Hell in a Cell match itself.
Um, I definitely give it a To be honest with you, I would give it like a high B, low A. Like all the good matches, it was two very good matches to me, and three and one good match to me, and those matches were the Hell in the Cell and the main event, and Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. Those matches kind of elevated the pay per view for me. Other than that, I didn't like the two women's matches. They're gonna sound horrible, but it is what it is. I just didn't like it. They wasn't good, and the end just sucks for the women's world championship match. Um, the announcement was stupid. It was uncalled for. Nobody needed. And other than that, I enjoyed my night though.
Agreed. Yeah, they really could have put the world title in place of that announcement. But no, I think it was an overall. I think it was a very big show. I think it was solid. I would agree with your grade. I probably would go with a B or A out of it. So no, I thought it was really it was a great show. Like it really was. I know it had a little bit of an earlier start time and all that, but like I said, I thought it was great. And you know, everything you just said, I will mostly agree with. I said first. I would have just gotten rid of that crown jewel segment and put another match in place of it. Like that's just me. I would have done that or something important because I felt like it was just a waste of time. So I said that the world title should have been there. But yeah, overall, yeah, great show though. So definitely enjoyed it. But other than that, probably be back next week for Wrestle Dream. So we'll see how that show's gonna go out for next week. Besides, we already got the war coming between AEW and NXT this Tuesday, so we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, that's gonna be something to watch this Tuesday. But yeah, Wrestle Dream next week, so probably gonna have a review of that coming up too. So we'll see what happens there. But other than that, got anything to plug before we get up out of here?
Nothing to plug. Just follow me on Twitter, straightface40. That's about it.
Yeah, comment, subscribe, hit that like button, hit that notification bell, and yeah. We are out of here. Follow me on Twitter at HoodedKnight890, and I'm sure we'll see you next week for the next review. So we out of here. Peace.